Yes, parents have the right to know what's going on with their children, but do they have the right to know what's going on with their children if they're going to use it against them? If you are a safe person for your kid to speak to about how they're feeling, they'll do that. And if they feel the need to hide it from you, then it sounds like you have some issues that you need to work out. It's not on the teacher, and it sure as hell isn't on the kid.
Immediately, people are going to jump to the pedo argument when you're making this
Maybe
argument.
Pyramid Head?
Well, I don't. Why?
He was the pyramid.
Why is
our
anybody-
members at the pyramid?
Why is anybody arguing in favor of teachers and students conspiring to keep secrets from their parents?
Gender ideology over trusted adults. Teachers are allegedly encouraging students to socially transition at school and keep changes strictly under wraps from parents, which in some cases...
So it's funny. She said allegedly. Okay. This is the classic example. It's not happening, but if it's happening, it's good. She just said it's alleged, but now she's about to say that it's actually a good thing. Okay.
Right.
Well, she wouldn't know if it's happening because she doesn't read anything. So
Right.
Ideology over trusted adults. Teachers are allegedly encouraging students to socially transition at school and keep changes strictly under wraps from parents, which in some cases might be true. But why? That's the part they usually miss. For a kid to feel safe discussing their personal feelings with teachers, they need to do so without fear that those personal feelings would be disclosed to others without their permission.
This is so fucking pedo right here.
And it's fucking weird. Yeah.
She's in favor of teachers, keeping secrets from their parents.
Well, they're trying to compare it to like child abuse,
Right.
which is so, first of all, we all intuitively understand. It's so weird. There's a lot of dishonesty on both sides, but I feel like each side uses different tactics. Like there's a lot of shared tactics, but I feel like there are certain tactics that each side kind of uses uniquely. And I feel like the left really does this more. Maybe I'm just wrong, but I feel like the left really does this more where they play this like weird, I guess probably because it's this postmodern like deconstructionist definitions game where there's some concept that we all like intuitively understand that doesn't really have to be, like defined or discussed. And then they use that ambiguity to trick you or to try to trick you.
To change the definition?
Right. Like you don't need to explain why a teacher, if a student comes to them and says, my parents are abusing me physically, right, or sexually or whatever, we all understand intuitively that the teacher shouldn't immediately go and call the parents. Like, you don't need to have a conversation about that. It's a very fucking obvious thing, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
you call social services.
Yeah, obviously, right? You talk to social services or the police or whatever, right? You don't go and talk to the parents. Those are the ones that are being accused of the crime, right? But if it's a question of like a child transitioning, that has nothing to do, unless the child says, I want to transition. And when I told my parents this, they started beating me, right? Like just on their own, just saying like, oh, I want to transition. Obviously, you should tell the fucking parents that. The idea that a teacher who knows far less about a child and has no legal responsibility over raising that child, right, should have the responsibility or the ability to make such a fucking massive decision in a child's life, like to socially transition them or to try to convince them to transition beyond that. This is like this is an insane argument.
This is where the Florida bill came from, because this situation actually happened. There was a teacher that socially transitioned the kid and they didn't tell the parents. That's why they call it the Parent Protection. Yeah, Parental Rights Act. Yeah, that's
right.
Why they
and
call
that kid tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how the parents found out about it. Yeah, they're like, the parents found out. Parents got a call from the school saying your kid tried to kill themselves. By the way,
we've socially transitioned your kid.
Yeah, teachers were transitioning your child here, and we didn't tell you about it. And they're like, what the like? Yes, of course, it's insane.
Yeah, and they're suing the school and all this, and that's where the bill originated from. So obviously, Illuminati doesn't understand any of this. Well, and she's going to bat for the teachers. Oh, well, the parents might have gotten mad and hit the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we should make this great decision in their lives for them.
How would you feel if you told someone a secret and they immediately went to tell someone else who may put you in danger if they were to know that secret?
This is so stupid.
How would you feel if Becky told Rebecca that Cindy kissed her boyfriend. How would you feel about that? Well, obviously, if a kid's getting socially transitioned by a teacher, you should shut up about it.
That's so insane.
Oh my God. Look at these arguments.
Transgender kids in particular are some of the most likely children to be forcibly kicked out of their homes by their parents. That is a calculation.
Okay.
It's a calculation the teacher must make?
Yeah, first of all, like, holy shit, the teacher's supposed to, weigh that. Secondly, so in her video, in her description, she has something that says sources, and you click on it, and there's all these like sources, but she doesn't have a source for that claim. She just said trans kids are the most likely to be kicked out of their homes by their parents.
Right.
I don't
source
know.
Gut intuition.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from.
I mean, it's probably right.
Well, so the closest thing I could find, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't do hours of research on this, but the closest thing I could find that everyone was citing was that there's this statistic that says if you're gay, you have if you're a gay child, you're twice as likely, I guess I should word it this way. If you're gay and a kid, you're twice as likely to be homeless than if you're straight and a kid. If you're trans and you're a kid, you're 9 times as likely to be homeless than if you weren't trans. Now,
homeless with your family or just like out on the street on your own?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Because I thought that the majority of kids that are homeless, were not kicked out of their house, but run away. Now, very often they run away because they're facing abuse of some kind. But
sure, yeah.
But anyway, regardless, right? But regardless, I couldn't find whatever source the fuck she was referencing in this, and she didn't provide one.
She's just making it up.
Both by the.
This is the argument that they make, that the teacher should have authority over the parents, have a higher authority than the parents.
Yes.
And the kid should be able to confide in the teacher, and the teacher should keep it on the DL from the parents.
Of course.
Is just not sane in any way, shape, or form.
And it's totally hypocritical, because if the politics of the situation were reversed, they would have the exact opposite opinion, right?
Yeah. If the teacher was like teaching them Christianity, look, you should be a Mormon. Come to our church on Sunday.
You know that they would be losing their shit if there was some teacher who was very religious and there was a kid that was like trans, and the teacher took them under their wing and detransified them, right?
Oh yeah.
They would be, oh my God, this is conversion therapy. How dare this teacher do this? What is the teacher's business to be involved in the kid's life? Like, they'd be foaming at the mouth in rage.
Right.
So it's all bullshit. There's no principles involved here. It's all just rooted on what politics you're in favor of for these people.
If the teacher is surreptitiously teaching the kid my ideology, well, that's great.
Yeah.
But if they're doing it to some ideology I disagree with, horror. It's so insane. Can't we just get ideology out of the classroom? Isn't there other things that we could learn that aren't based in just straight ideology?
I would hope so, but
I guess American history is kind of the civil religion that we all need to learn together, because we all have different religions, as in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, whatever. For the spiritual realm, people have different ideologies, but at some level, we have to cohere as a society.
True.
I think that's the problem with things like American history, because the ideology that they want to teach is America bad, and that ideology isn't going to really help anyone.
J-Mac, our surrogate father. Thank you so much, Daddy. J-Mac, for $20. What's up, J-Mac? Says, I think that there are some valuable lessons that religions teach, but if my kids were being taught those lessons by their teacher, I would be furious. It's the pushing of ideology that I and many parents are against.
Perfect. Look, totally goes along with exactly what I was saying.
Hey, Short Fat Taco's in chat, and he says, kick Doomer. True.
Not yet. Gotta wait till it's time.
The student and the teacher that they need to do in their minds before they decide if they want to come out to their family or not. And
if I was a teacher and some kid was coming to me with this stuff, I'd be like, can't you tell your next period class? Can't you tell your next period teacher? Why are you bringing this up to me? Why do I want to know about this?
I think Doomer's AFK. I think he's touching the green M&M or something.
Oh, he is? No worries.
Emmy's not responding.
For some parents, this can feel like a stab in the back. Yes, parents have the right to know what's going on with their children, but do they have the right to know what's going on with their children if they're going to use it against them?
How does the teacher know that? Does the teacher call them up and feel them out? Like, can I tell them the kid's secret or not?
Yeah.
This is so weird. This is so weird. Any teacher that's getting that involved in the kid's life and the parent's life should be fired immediately.
Yep.
Jeez.
I don't think they do. But that's not for me to decide. As we speak, there are multiple lawsuits in the works to decide if teachers will be legally obligated to tell parents if students are showing signs of gender nonconforming behavior. And while they claim this is all about parents' rights, I see it a little bit differently, as do others. Kel Olson, who is a staff attorney at Lambda Legal, says, I can't help but recognize that although parents' rights has been proposed as the basis and framework for a lot of these things, a large concern is not necessarily parents' rights, but parental fear of LGBTQ people and trying to control access to that by young people.
Control access.
I was like, let me just read a quote of someone who's just like, I'm just going to redefine the entire issue in a way to make you seem like a bigot. Valid opinion. Like, okay. That'd be like saying like, oh, well, I think all this fear that Illuminati is posing right here about, why parents shouldn't be informed by teachers is because, Illuminati thinks it's okay for teachers to groom children, into the MAP culture.
Right. Yeah.
Look, I can just redefine whatever I want to make anyone look terrible.
I mean, you're making a persuasive argument, though, that Illuminati is in favor of teachers being able to keep secrets.
I mean, she is like that creepy pyramid on the back of the, on the money.
I don't know. Look, immediately people are going to jump to the pedo argument when you're making this
creepy
argument.
Pyramid head?
Well, no, I don't. Why?
Use the pyramid.
Why is
our members at the pyramid?
Why is anybody arguing in favor of teachers and students conspiring to keep secrets from their parents? Like it's so awful. It's just so awful.
So
the parents need to be informed.
Right. So this is their thought process. They think, oh my God, you have all these redneck MAGA parents who are just going to beat their children. They're going to try to beat the gay and beat the trans out of their children. And the child, all they have is there's some, woke progressive teacher at their school that they can confide in. And it's, it's that teacher's job to protect them from their evil redneck parents. Like that's the mind image that
this is a movie.
She has. Yes, it's a movie. This is not a thing that happens generally, right? I'm sure it happens occasionally, but it's not like, the widespread issue.
The teacher in the school saving the student from the evil parent that raised them and has all the parental investment in them.
Yes.
But just wants to beat them to death. I don't know. I feel like this is it's weird. And it's simping for pedophilic shit, which is just bad news, obviously.
Well, and and what the quote that she read from that guy, like, for all these issues, I mean, I don't know what bill she's talking about. The guy was like, this is just parents afraid of LGBT people. All the bills that I've seen regarding this, none of them say anything about sexual orientation. Mm-hmm. They don't say, oh, if the child is gay, you tell the parents. They're only about transitioning. They just throw an LGB just to confuse the issue in a very dishonest way.
Of course. Yeah, of course. There's no social contagion going on with being gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was Florida's biggest optical fuck up, was they should have never included gay in the Don't Say Gay bill. It should have just been trans issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's what allowed them to peg it as the Don't Say Gay bill.
Right? Oh, you're right.
Like,
you
should just completely remove that. That has nothing to do with anything. That's not the issue.
Right.
But,
they messed up.
And here's the thing. If you are a safe person for your kid to speak to about how they're feeling, they'll do that. And if they feel the need to hide it from you, then it sounds like you have some issues that you need to work out. It's not on the teacher, and it sure as hell isn't on the kid. It's kind of on you as the adult to, be the adult. Speaking of that statement, isn't that what all this outrage around wokeism is really being used for? To shift the blame? Before everything was about how schools were going woke with gender ideology, people were attacking schools going woke because of CRT being taught in grade school, which once again, it's still not. Critical race theory is a legal theory that's usually taught in law school. It's not.
Oh my God, she said the phrase. She said the phrase.
She's such an NPC.
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams Show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.